Check, check, 1, 2. Check, check, 1, 2. Hello, hello. There we go. Stream is awake. Hello, comrades, and welcome to another episode of Under Construction. I'm your host, Ellis, otherwise known as the Admiral. Let me get this all ready. You all know what I need to do. If you don't know what I need to do, welcome to the channel. Oh! You know what I need to do is I need to swap the thumbnail out with the new one that we got. Give me a second. Where did it go? It should be a week ago in Tolvin Peninsula, right? In the thread in our Discord, which you can join down below. There it is. It's a little crunchy. Probably Discord compression doing it. Well, part of the fact is that it's my own damn fault, is what it is. Because I just don't have that high of a resolution, and then I'm taking a screenshot of that, and yeah, it's real crunchy. There really isn't much way around that. The way around that would be if somebody else went and took a screenshot on my behalf. All right, let me do that now. Hello, Steel Beasts of History. Also, we have this little icon in the corner. I don't think I know how to get rid of it. Let me edit the stream. Let me change the thumbnail. It's going to be under Tolbrand. That's where I put it. There it is. There we go. Now that's in there. Okay. Now we got to do our obligatory game of not Tetris. Hopefully this time I don't get too overzealous and screw it up immediately. I need to think about where these pieces are going to go. It took a second to save. That can go there. Let's see. This can go over here. This can go right here. Hello, Orion. That is not really what I wanted to have happen. This can go over here. Hi, MK. I knew you were waiting for the start of the stream. Let's move this over there. Oh, see, that was me being impatient. Now I've screwed up. Hello, Der Kaiser. If I can get that right there. We're only doing single lines at a time. I need to be smarter about this. I need to aim for multiple line bonuses, which is not what I'm doing. Look up Ellis, South Dakota, or how do you pronounce that, Ellis? Because I've had my name. Hello, General Lee Gaming. I have had people write my name wrong and then mispronounce it because it was E-L-I-S. So if it's not pronounced Ellis, I will not be surprised. In fact, I'll be kind of surprised if it is pronounced Ellis, because that just means that if that's how you pronounce that, then the people that were mispronouncing my name really had no excuse. I feel like most people, if you grow up in the States, you learn about Ellis Island and you get that pronunciation down. And that should be enough. That's enough to get my name right. But I get it. You know, I don't ever begrudge people for getting my name wrong, especially not my last name. Usually I just say, yeah, good enough, to whatever people say. I've had people like stutter through it and butcher it, and it's just like, yeah, close enough. So I don't need to expend the effort to correct somebody for them to not remember my name in 5 minutes anyway. I don't remember a damn thing. I'm so bad at remembering names. Oh shoot. Okay. It is I, the conductor. I had to make a new Discord account because I forgot my password. Bruh. I mean, yeah. So, the Providence Northern Model Railroad Club, my model railroad club, we had a virtual business meeting this past Tuesday. a virtual business meeting is nice because you can get people who wouldn't be able to schlep all the way to the club otherwise. And since we're pretty much the only club in Rhode Island, that can be a little bit of a hike for people. Um, but on the flip side, you get all the seniors, for lack of a better word, who really do not know how to use technology in the way that anyone in this stream chat knows how to use technology. And I'm casting that net very broadly because it really isn't that hard to click on a link in your email. So when I get a call from one of our senior members and he said, I don't know how to get into this meeting, I was thinking, oh no, this person just isn't going to make the meeting. Like there's nothing I can do about it. But he got into an email inbox, which was not the one that it was sent to, but I was able to get him to explain, like, to basically read his email address out to me once he figured out what it was, because he did not know the password to the email address that the meeting invite was actually sent to. Oh, shoot. That wasn't good. That would have been great. And then I was able to forward the meeting invite to him, and it just worked. Which is great. Like this man is 85. I think he's 85 or so, and he managed to get into the Google Meet, which I was so proud of him, and just like so pleased that we could make that happen because I feel like in a world where everybody's busy as ever, doing digital meetings can sometimes be a lot more reliable to get a whole bunch of people on. Um, if my club ever had a meeting lacking all of the older gentlemen, we would actually get stuff done. It's funny that because at our club, the older gentlemen are basically the only people who do anything. Um, Partly because we had no younger individuals until very recently, uh, and I'm not including myself in the younger individuals. I, for a very long time, was the youngest person in the club, as far as I'm aware, or at least the youngest person in the club that actually came to the business meetings. Um, oh, come on, come on, come on, come on. We can do this. We've got 2,500 points. We just knocked 3 off the board. Uh, just wiped out Tomato Town. Oh God, there go the tilted towers. Okay. But yeah, now we've got a bunch of young kids in the club, and that's really nice. But uh, they come to the meetings, which is fantastic. But they are under 18, so they are not. They don't have voting privileges, so they don't actually contribute to the quorum. So it doesn't solve the problem. It solves the problem of not having enough manpower to maintain the layout, but it does not solve the problem of not having enough people to pass motions, um, which is a much larger problem ultimately because like we got to pay our bills and we got to vote people in and et cetera, et cetera. How is that not? Come on. Okay, 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 okay. Come on, Cascade, please. Cascade plus whatever ultimate dishwater. Oh no, 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 no. All right, well, that's it for not Tetris. It's okay. I'm going to send the link in the Trainz official Discord. It's the first time I will be sending the link with the new thumbnail. Hopefully it shows up. It does not. That's okay. Cue the start of the stream. Yeah, for real. I already set the time back to noon. Um, and I'm not really sure what's going to go on here today. I am so out of the I'm so out of the headspace of getting scenery work done, but I'm also now out of the headspace of getting the other stuff done too. I sort of have realized that um, it might be a fantastic tool that we have in Living Railroad, but it really can't do much yet. I've come to accept that. I've returned again, switched over to my laptop. Got advice for choosing a livery for a fictional railroad. Um, like anything else, I would go from first principles. Think about the world that you're building and what might be meaningful in it. You can probably trace a lot of. I mean, I'm not sure how many, to be honest, but you can probably trace quite a few railroad liveries back to, well, back to something, right? Not nothing. Uh, if you look into the history of a given railroad livery, there's probably a reason why they picked the colors that they did. It's not quite as meaningful as a flag per se, but it's got to have something in there. And I mean, you could just pick one that you want, that like you like the color of, which there's absolutely no shame in doing that. Especially if you can just easily back it up with like, oh, it was the railroad president's favorite colors, something like that. Uh, because that's a valid reason to do anything. Um, but a lot of schemes later on, I feel like they put effort into figuring out how to include things like safety stripes. Um, I feel like certain schemes were probably done as a flex, right? Like the ghost train for the New York and New England was painted white with gold trim, and it's like that is really difficult to do and like maintain in an age of steam motive power. So why did you do that? And the answer is because we wanted it to stand out and look fancy, and we wanted to flex on people the fact that we are doing this in an age of steam motive power. Um, you know, uh, guess who just got to ride behind the 16 southbound? By the 16, I assume you mean East Broad Top number 16. That's fantastic. Uh, I need to get back out there, and I say that every time I see anything about the East Broad Top. Two nickel plate inspired liveries, a GN livery, CB&Q's vermilion red, and DM&E blue and gold. It's a question of what you're missing there. What are you missing there? You're probably missing, uh, you might be missing some green. If you haven't done a scheme that uses green heavily, maybe look into that. I feel like that's what you're missing. Or you could do one of the oddballs, you could always do like a purple, like an ACL purple. Change the thumbnail. I might be changing the thumbnail every week now. At least somebody saw the new thumbnail. That's good. Thanks to Steel Beasts of History, I believe, for making that thumbnail. And I did take a whole bunch of other screenshots, but if people keep taking screenshots of the route, and it keeps getting turned into thumbnails, then I'm going to keep using those thumbnails, because we're past the point where I don't have anything to showcase in a thumbnail. When we started this project, there couldn't be a thumbnail. I had to make something from whole cloth because there was no railroad to take a thumbnail of, to take a screenshot of. So instead, I just made up something on the fly, and I'm not proud of that, I suppose, but we can do a hell of a lot better now. Hell of a lot better. Voting on what the thumbnail is going to be, that'd be kind of fun. Another weekly vote for people to definitely not rig. Looking forward to Hearts of Iron tomorrow, though. Maroon and gold. Have you made Trainz water not look like crap? Depends. In what way does it look like crap usually? So, the water here, if you go into the environment settings, I think this is the water here. Yeah, water. This is legacy water. So that's different than the water effect layer, right? And I just sort of fiddled with the colors until I got something that I liked, which is fairly dark, but with more blue and green than red. I think the other thing that I did was, I set it to medium ripples. I don't know if that's, because a lot of the, I don't know what it starts on by default. Yeah, I don't want to press that button. Um, but I felt like medium ripples provided a decent middle ground, especially because like this is going to be the water for the whole map. So I just found something that looked all right. It took a bit of time of fiddling with the settings. That's sort of the gist of it. Uh, I don't know about the effect layer water. I don't know what you can do with that to actually affect what it looks like, but that might be worth exploring as well. Um, I want chain link fence without a thing on top of it. I want a normal chain link fence. Also, I'm a little bit stuffy. I don't really know why. It started right about when we started. I might be allergic to this route now. This has... No, that is barbed wire. I think if I go over... I'm getting lost in my town again. Good problem to have, I guess. Nope, that's the grass line. There we go. This chain link fence. And we were putting it over here. So I think this is just a little extra. We can put some chain link fencing around these tanks, just in case. I don't know, somebody would try to steal the milk. No, I want razor wire. I'm not going to bother with it right now. I've done that a bunch of other places, just I don't want to do it right here. Doesn't feel like it fits the vibe. Especially because this whole section feels fairly clean. Oh, I forgot to look at that place you wanted me to look at. Also, this corner I think I might do in gravel. I'm the milkman. My milk is delicious. Okay. And then what I want to do, actually, is maybe put some sort of garage on the side here. I mean, this is kind of cool. That's really big, but we can definitely use that somewhere. That's a cool building. Cool bus garage. Fire station garage? That's also going to be too large. I don't really know what... I mean, I guess what would go here is, like, milk trucks, right? This is a funeral garage. So this is where they store the hearse. Right. And that can just be right there. I might put a second one next to it, but I think I'll leave that alone for now. And then this area behind it can probably look more like this, instead of being this perfect gravel corner. In the Dakotas, it might be harder to find a town that wasn't a railroad town. Yeah, I'll just leave that all paved. Now this is our triangle that we're working on right now. This one right here, and I'm not totally sold on what to put here. Part of me says I should just do more parking lot. You know, what's the difference between a garage and a carport? Down south, there's a difference, but up north, I'm not sure. Enlighten us. So carport is just a word that doesn't get used much up here. But if you were to ask me what the difference is just right off, I would say that a garage is an enclosed structure and a carport is not. A carport is either open on the sides or open on the front and back. Like if you have an overhang that you park your car under, that's a carport. I used to live in a house that had both. It had a garage with a carport next to it. But, I feel like it might be easy to say, oh, a carport is attached to your house and a garage is detached. But there's an awful lot of what people I would imagine would call, you know, attached garages. So I don't think that fits the bill. I think it has to be that a carport is uh, an open structure, something that doesn't actually fully protect your automobile from the elements. Is that a little? Yeah, it's a little high. Let's just lower that just a touch. Yeah, I like that. Okay. If it's detached, wouldn't it be a car shed? Uh, I just called this definition of a carport a parking spot. I mean, fair enough. Um, but then you lose the delineation of, oh, is it covered or not? Have you made a pole barn basically? Because a carport that's not attached is just a pole barn. A carport has to be attached. I think that as well is important if we're delineating it. Do you really need to convey that in a single word? I mean, do you need to? No. Why not though? You know, uh, we have so many different words for things. Yeah, to us, a carport is at least one open side and a roof. A garage is fully enclosed with a door. Yeah, that makes sense to me. Um, we've got so many words that could be because it spares us stupid conversations like this. No, I don't think it does. I don't think it does, and I'll tell you why. Because if you don't find definitions that are distinct for those two words, then you run into potential confusion. If you were to get, let's say you were visiting me at my old house, and I said, oh yeah, no, my car's at the mechanic, you can park in the garage. Or I said you can park in the carport. Those are two different things. And now imagine the situation where that gets fumbled, you park in the wrong one, and I'm like, no, 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 I said the carport, and then you have this conversation. Because if you have two things and the names of them are interchangeable, you're just asking for more confusion. Maybe that's my tism speaking a little bit too much, but like, I love to find categories, right? Uh, the only thing that I like abjectly refuse to put in boxes, uh, conversation would happen immediately because you never hear the word carport. Okay, but then you still have to have that conversation to learn what the word carport means. You've got to have it. Uh, um, the only thing I'm not going to put in boxes is people. Be what you want. Labels can only hold us down. All right. All right. All right. All right. All right. All right. I want to scoot this up to the road here. I don't know why these villa buildings have really struck me as like, oh, I need to put a bunch of these down this road. Uh, but I don't know. They're calling to me. I'm gonna do it. The only problem with this is more confusion is like boot and trunk, same thing, different words. Uh, yeah, yeah. Oh, put something in the boot, and then I see them trying to, they're trying to get their shoe off. It's like, no, 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 no. Hold on, stop. Um, hello, Sacco Films. Okay, let's do that. This is going to be like a cute street, but we're going to run out of that. We're going to build some parking lot. We're going to definitely get some parking lot in here. We're getting further from like the densest part of downtown. We need more parking because we've got this here, which this is a silly building and a silly looking lot, and I feel like it needs something else, but I don't know what. I just threw it here because we had the room for something like this. Um, But what am I going to do? So this area back here I want to add an addition to. I want to add a building to because I don't like seeing this untextured backside. Uh, oh, what are you? City Building 15. Oh, okay, yeah, you're just like a generic office building. Um, yeah, screw public transportation. Screw like density. Just go look at Houston. Go look at Houston. They mowed down half the downtown. It's just I mean you could subscribe to the Rural America Simple English Speak Dictionary. It's the That's the equivalent of the. Have you ever seen the XKCD, where it's like uh, the most basic words in the English language, like how to describe anything, and you can only use the most commonly used 1,000 words or whatever. And then there's a poster of like the Saturn V. Oh, look at this pavement grass. Where'd it go? Look at that. That's cool. Should use this. Look at that. I bet you I can find uses for this. Oh, but I can't go past the door, huh? Yeah, the upgoer. Uh, yes, like that's perfect. That's what we need. We're gonna reduce the English. We don't need any of this redundancy. We don't need any of this, you know, complication. Why should we use those fancy words? Why use many word when few word do trick? Um, I love watching people dunk on American urbanization on YouTube. Yeah, well, it's an easy thing to dunk on. You could complain that it's low hanging fruit, but it screws with so many people all the time. Oh, you know what? We're gonna lower that so that I can't see it in the gutter. I mean, I think a simple standard is good, but I feel like unless we're developing a new language from scratch, the ship has kind of sailed. You know? All right, so we got that office building on the corner. This is going to be like city offices, um, and I don't know what that's going to be, but it's there. Yeah, a little. Um, I wish every place had kept their streetcar system. It's interesting to look at, sort of the de-densification of centers, because it's not something that's easily chalked up to one thing or another. It's okay. Property values were, we were suburbanizing, property values were dropping, and like, yeah, a lot of that is due to a relatively small number of factors, but it's not as simple as this equals that. You have the white flight, you have the property values, you have suburbanization, and these things are all tied together. They're all related. Um, but it's tough to, like, if you want a solid understanding of the whole thing, you can't just look at one of these topics. The British building is the House of Lords. That's kind of. I figured the House of Lords would be bigger. Don't they have a lot of lords? Um, insert spline point. Push to go green space in downtown. Yeah, I mean, in an era where we can learn to not take our cars everywhere, right? Uh, you can sub some of those parking lots for green space and not really lose very much. Uh, yeah, and the other aspects that I didn't get to mention were, like, not only do you have what I already said, but you also have, like, okay, as a consequence of all of these things, more people are commuting into a given municipality, into a given downtown. by car, and you need somewhere to put those cars. So, knock down some buildings and put some parking lots. Now, is that a good idea? Like, holistically? No, of course not. But it is, it's the chain of events. It was what was most expedient for people at that point in time. All right, I need to, off topic a bit, but there's pictures of cattle in downtown Roanoke. There are cows outside. All right, let's replace with selected asset like that. And then I want to lower this slightly. And we'll do this back in Surveyor Classic. I'm really not filling in the triangle I'm supposed to be filling in, but it is what it is. Let's lower it by just a hair. There we go. Yeah. You say the old one, so I assume they have a new one, a new House of Lords, which would make sense again because I feel like they've got a lot of lords, and that's a fairly small house to fit them all in. I wonder if I tuck to the end of this into this. So look at all the TARDISes. That's what those doors look like to me, just at a glance from 10,000 feet up here. Let's pop open the search filter again. If we can get this triangle done today, I'll be relatively happy. We also are, I don't know how big of a deal was a parking garage in this day and age, right? I don't think many of them would have been around yet because you've got plenty more buildings to knock down and replace with parking lots, right? So why? Oh, is this taller? Oh, that's actually going to be kind of a problem. Why bother with the parking garage? Why bother engineering a parking garage when you can just build more parking lots, when you've got more empty space? Like, it's free real estate, right? Don't I have a degree for this stuff? Nah, I mean, yes and no. I I mean, I have a civil engineering degree. I have a traffic engineering degree specifically. That's not a degree in urban planning. It's not a degree in a lot of things. And like, while I have a contribution to a lot of projects, the thing about being an engineer is that, unlike what you might see in the movies, there's no omni engineer. Uh, it is related. Yeah, one more lane, bro. Yeah, no, exactly. It's like I don't know much about electricity. I don't know much about urban planning. I don't know much about hydrology. Despite the fact that I did take courses on these things, it doesn't mean I remember them because I don't use them. Uh, and there's so much more to every project than anyone can tell you. There's almost more to any project than any one person can learn. And that's why things like an engineering disaster podcast or just an engineering media is so interesting, because even for someone who has taken the degree, even for someone who has gone to school, even for someone who works in the engineering field 40 hours a week, there's a ton that I just don't know about, that I see like in the plan set, and I go, wow, that's really interesting. Probably, like that's cool. Look at that. That's a design for a bridge. Um, that's all I can tell you about it. And like, I'd like to think that I'm decent at inferring stuff. I'd like to think that I'm decent at taking the understanding that I have and parlaying it into an explanation that makes sense. but that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be right or complete. Um, and that's sort of the big problem. Like, somebody asks me, somebody asked me what happened with the Washington Bridge. I can sort of like sputter out an explanation with the design of the bridge because I watched a video on it and because I got acquainted with it back when we were bidding on that project, which we now have. Don't tell anyone though. I it's not like it's confidential. I just don't want to answer questions from all my family members about it. Um, but yeah, it like I could sort of give you a vague explanation based on what I've seen, based on the things that I've read. Like I have a not insignificant understanding of structural engineering because most civil engineers end up as structural, and I had to take classes to that effect. But that doesn't mean I can build a building. Certainly not on my own. It means that, you know, I might be able to draw you a free body diagram, maybe, if I really tried. I liked doing truss calcs back in the day. If you sat me down with a truss bridge and a load on it, I might be able to figure out what the force on all the members is. Maybe. But I don't know how much of that I remember. I haven't tried to use it in a long time. And that's why I'm probably never going to take the PE. In seriousness, I'm just going to like have to take a refresher course and then stumble through it. The problem is I am and have always been pretty abysmal at studying. Amazing that I made it through school at all. Thankful with the Washington Bridge, you don't need a ton of expertise to look at the photos, read the captions, and go, oh, that's not good. Sure, but it's tough to answer the question. It's tougher to answer the question of why is it not good, and how did it get like that? You know, um, with lots of things, you can look at them and say, oh, that's not supposed to be like that. But that's the start. That's the place to start. And I think ultimately the captions are doing an awful lot of heavy lifting. Uh, Civil engineering degrees are good for helping you know it's not good. Yeah, I mean when something, and so is common sense, when something is like supposed to be intact and then it's not connected anymore, you generally like it's not supposed to be like that. Um, and that should be fairly obvious. But the thing is, sometimes it isn't. Sometimes that's not correct, right? Like, it's not hard to run into one of these situations with something like the Washington Bridge, where you see something and go like, "Oh my God, that looks like the bridge is about to fall down," when actually nothing of the sort is going to happen anytime soon. Uh, you know, and on some levels, sure, there's some intuition to it, and you kind of know it when you see it. But that's not always true. It doesn't always work like that. And I mean, hell, there are about 300 posts a day on oh shoot, what subreddit is it? It's it's either like Century Homes or Homeowner or one of those that are just like, hey, are these cracks okay? And honest to goodness, like, sure, 75% of them are, yeah, no, they're not okay. You need to call a civil engineer and get that figured out. But at least a quarter of them are like, yeah, no, that's fine. That like beams just kind of do that. Um, and you'd think any cracking is cause for incredible alarm. And like I would not fault anyone because I look at all those, and as someone who is not that kind of engineer, I look at them and go like, that doesn't make me happy. Of course, the crack in the floor of my bathroom, I am the opposite about because like la 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 la, I don't want to remove the toilet again. And I know that it's not like the toilet leaking; it's just that that part of the floor has settled a little bit, and the linoleum is very old. At least that's what I tell myself. Um, but you know, if I die on the toilet, but in a non like very non Elvis like way, by just like falling um, through the floor, first of all, one too many empanadas for me. Second of all, like you're gonna have to just like go to my funeral and be like, he probably should have fixed that crack. So um, I'm gonna invent the flux capacitor. Yeah, if I survive the fall, I might. Um, you never know these things. They tend to come out of nowhere. I'm gonna shout Eureka as I land on my concrete basement floor. I'm mostly like, I'm not unconvinced that I could put my whole weight on the brand new pipe we installed that goes into the bottom of the toilet. So like if the floor is genuinely going, I like there's a backup plan there, right? Um there's a redundant support system. Everyone wants to go back in time until they smell it. Until they go back beyond the point where deodorant was invented and then they think, "Oh god, it's just like being in a middle school again." Um why does everything stink? Or it's just like being at a train show. All right, let's do. Oh no, that's not good. Have you seen the PLL route? It's pretty strange since I haven't seen something like it since 2009. No, I don't know what that is. Please enlighten me. PLL. Pierre Larquette Railway. I'm in middle school and I go to train shows. Well, I hope you wear deodorant. Because middle school is when you start to stink. You can get away with it in elementary school because you don't sweat as much yet. But trust me, even if you can't smell you, we all can. Um, and also, I mean, train shows, they're just such a catalyst for it, you know? They're a catalyst for stank. You're in a space, you're walking around all day, you're with a whole bunch of people, you're like elbow to elbow, especially at a big train show like the Big E, you know? It's just wall to wall people all day. And you get sweaty. Like, despite the fact that it's 29 degrees outside, you get sweaty. And there is someone that I was talking about, the younger members to the Providence Northern. There is someone whose name I do not know, who I've only run into once, who is a new member of the club. And I remember being in a room with him and being like, "Oh, brother, this guy stinks." Like, do I say anything to him? And I decided not to because everyone has off days. But I resolved that if I ever ran into him again and he smelled like that, I was gonna say something. Um, Sometimes you just have to tell people. Okay, where did? Okay, give me this pavement slabs, please. No, give me the. There we go. I need to fix this corner because everything's floating on this corner. This is right next to this. I like this building. It really shouldn't go here, but I like it. Um, it's funny because this wall is almost parallel with this road. And I'll probably add a substantial backlot to this as well. Alright. Okay. Uh-oh.
Guess what time it is?
Am I in trouble?
No.
Oh, okay. Nice. Yeah, you okay?
Yeah. Yeah. Guess what time it is?
Soda time.
Well, I guess.
Lemon. Damn, I keep just guessing that first because I want it. I don't even remember what all is in there. Orange. The berry melon. Yeah, I got it. Third try. Okay. It is 7:50 p.m. Yacht Club Soda are not sponsor. I can't get this damn thing open. No, I want to do it. I don't know why my grip strength is failing me, or that cap was really on there. I don't know. Berry Melon Rebellion.
It is very full.
I still don't know what flavor this is. Yeah, it's full. It's really full. Delicious as always. I'm going to move my water, put this here, and as per the usual, I'm going to be nursing that for the rest of the show. Thank you for bringing me the soda.
You're very welcome. Lafayette, come on.
Oh, is it also time for Lafayette?
It can be.
I really wish this
Come here.
fit.
Come on.
Let's try
Oh, I
2.4.
know when I lock him out, he's going to be very upset.
Well, he's probably going to get into mischief if you lock him out.
People want to say hi.
I'm going to have to go to the shop right and see if it's on the shelves. I would be surprised. I don't think I've ever seen it anywhere outside of Rhode Island. Hi, Lafayette. Hi. Do you want some Berry Melon Rebellion? Here. There's condensation on the glass if you want to like that. It won't be your last chance. I'm sure you'll be up here again someday.
Okay, so they can see now.
They can, yeah. All right, whatever. That's gonna have to be good enough. It's still a little bumpy, but it is what it is. Hi, come here. My sister's obsessed with the Hamilton musical and would probably call Lafayette a Hamilton reference. That's because he is.
He is a
Hamilton reference.
He is Lafayette.
We did name him after that Lafayette because we were on a huge Hamilton kick at the time. Importantly, and I'll never forget this. What was it? Like our second or third date? That like we had talked about Hamilton previously, and because of that previous discussion, you decided to watch it, and you didn't tell me that you watched it, and so then I spent like a chunk of dinner talking you through the plot, as if you had never seen it, and at the end you're just like, yeah, I saw it, and I was just like, why would you let me do that? Why did you let me yak? Why didn't you say that you had seen it so that we could then talk about it instead of me mansplaining the plot of Hamilton to you?
Because I like hearing you talk.
This is why we're together, because I yak. So if I'm putting a 1657 16-inch 57 caliber gun on rails, what from a traffic engineer should I consider? It depends. Are you putting it? Well, what you might have to worry about is any interactions with railroad crossings. Yeah, you do have to come and see Maine 2-foot, MK. Okay, this I'll do the barbed wire fence for. Where'd I put that fence? Okay. This one, and then the one right next to it should be the barbed wire fence. Yeah, there we go. Oh, the city's getting so big. I love it. It's exciting. Something else we're missing downtown is a gas station. I mean, I don't know if or where one would be in this area, but we should probably find a spot for one. Hey, do I remember the Internet Road Trip? Yes, I do. Let's look it up. Where's the Internet Road Trip now? Probably somewhere still in Canada. Oh, they're coming back south now. Did they go all the way to the easternmost point? Oh, they got pretty far out there. Now they're heading down towards Shawinigan, and we're somewhere in some subdivision. I wonder what's going on with that. I never joined their Discord, and I haven't tuned in a while, so I think it's cool. I think it's cool that it's still going. I'm glad that it's still going. All right, this, and then do I want there to be an access route through here? Probably. But maybe, maybe not. there is a memorial the time they transported to Denver. I could not get W Place to work for me on my desktop, so I haven't messed with it. I feel like it is yet another rabbit hole that I would instantly go down without hesitation and be stuck down there for a while. And I have too many of those right now. Here's what we're going to do to make a fence that is parallel to the back side of this building here. We're going to make a fence that is parallel to the back side of the building. That's step 1. Step 2 is go into Surveyor 2.0. Step 3 is try and fail to click on the fence. Okay, now move it over here. Extend this out to here. Packing is always so much fun. And by that I mean it's not fun. So I wish you luck and Godspeed. Where are you moving to? I feel like you said that earlier. Oh, we can put a gas station on this corner, maybe? If I actually curtail this right here. Oh, NOLA! Oh, that's actually kind of cool. I mean, big change, but that's really cool. Enjoy the food. Right, there we go. There we go. We got a car lot, and then I want some sort of gas station. Seems to be some kind of sauce. Well, keep your wits about you in New Orleans. It's a wild place, for better and worse. Hello, Zero Winter. Okay, gas station. Nah, I wouldn't say city life sucks. Different strokes, though. There are people who cannot stand city life, and there are people who cannot stand country life. I know that I would really be unhappy if I was more than a few minutes from a supermarket. Feeling like mostly worse right now. Well, I hope that you can adapt. As a Virginia farm girl, I wish you luck. I have little doubt that, given time, you will find your way. And plus, you're not too far from the country in New Orleans. New Orleans is so small that it did not get into Merger Mania as a top 50 metro area or whatever it is, or an over a million. I think that's what it was. So it's definitely going to be a change, and you're definitely going to have to, like I said, keep your wits about you and find your way. But I think you can do it, number one. And number two, I think if you really need to get out into the country, it shouldn't be that difficult, after all. Alright, I need some kind of asphalt for this that looks like this. What you doing, baby? Oh, okay. I'm not done with it yet. I was about to talk to the audience about that current problem slash obsession, which is updating coggers, because what happened is someone died too many times in our world and got really fed up with my hardcore respawning, which is fair. And so I figured if we were moving to a new world, I would update the thing. Orion, have you ever seen the movie My Cousin Vinny? If you haven't, that's very unfortunate because it's an absolutely stellar film. But I feel like this is the opposite of what Vinny goes through when he's out there in the country, where like no matter what he goes, he can't get a peaceful sleep until he's in prison, and the background noise is like chaos and shouting. Oh man, you gotta watch that movie. It is a great, like, it's great on multiple levels. It's a great fish out of water, uh, city mouse in the country sort of story, uh, as well as the fact that it's one of the best, well, one of the most accurate legal dramas ever put to film, and also really funny. Um, Honestly, I need to make an excuse to watch it again. We should do it as a movie night in the Discord. I have it on not VHS. I have it on DVD. Was I assume My Cousin Vinny was released on VHS, given its vintage. I've never seen a My Cousin Vinny VHS. No matter what, you end up in a new place. It'll take you time to acclimate, and some people never do. I'm not saying that you won't. I'm just saying that there are, there are plenty of people that have to find ways to sleep in their current situation, be that the country, the city, anywhere in between. There are people I know that sleep with music, that sleep with white noise machines, that sleep with all sorts of stuff. Whatever tools they've found, to get a good rest. There are people I know that sleep that use melatonin, and plenty of that doesn't have to be external factors. Plenty of that can just be like you're stressed, um, for one reason or another. Hey, do I know what Helldivers 2 is? Yes, I do. Have I played it? No. Will I play it? Probably not. Honestly, I certainly hold. I certainly don't like dislike it, but it just I see no reason for me to grab it. There have been there are too many games that I need to play that I have not played for me to worry about Helldivers, which is a game that I feel like is best experienced with a group of friends that really want to do it. Um, so instead, I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing and playing Coggers, playing Minecraft with Gloria, and playing Transport Fever on Mondays. But I don't play it on Mondays. I put it out on Mondays. Okay, back into Surveyor 2 for this, so we can line this parking lot properly. Um, but it seems like a really cool game, and I really, as a Halo fan, think that it's really cool that they're doing like an ODST crossover, because it feels like it's tailor made for that. It feels like that is the right game to do that with. Um, I'm glad you're enjoying the Transport Fever series. I've been enjoying making it. I have been like it's been tricky to unlearn what I know about that game, or what I know, right? It's been tricky to take my uh my Transport Fever experience, and of course like my locomotion experience, and translate that into a different game of the same genre where the rules are slightly different, you know. um I'm glad that I can provide a look. It is, you know, I think it has its flaws, but it's a very good entry into the genre, and it's certainly the best one we've had in a while. And I know that's maybe bold of me to say, because I really haven't played all of them. I really haven't played many of the newer Tycoon games, or even specifically Railroad Tycoon games. Um, the one and only time I played Railway Empire was on that stream with Mark, but uh, like it's well done, and the mechanics work well together. I think that's the best thing I can say about it. I think that, like many games of its type, the options for vehicles are fairly limited. I think it's sort of a mark against it that they're basically all copies of the the vehicles in the previous game. But really, it was a mechanical upgrade and a world upgrade, and that is worth something. It's nice to it's nice to go up, like to step up in a video game series, to go to the next iteration and have it be a clean upgrade. Have it be a sorry, I'm looking for walls. I should just search it. Um, have it be a hey, we took everything that was working about the previous iteration and we made it better or at least kept it the same. I mean, how many times have we had games come out where the newer version, like even if it isn't mechanically worse, right? Like worse is an objective term, but it's missing stuff, you know? It is it is not as complete as the previous game was. And I have to caveat that too, because the thing with games in the modern era is that they're all going to have by default DLC, right? Like most games that you're going to play are going to have some form of downloadable content, some form of expansion that adds to that initial, adds to the functionality of the game. Oftentimes it adds to the functionality. Oftentimes it adds fully like new systems, which, you know, are often very welcome, but then to take 10 years of game development and then translate it into a brand new game, then that becomes a fairly tall order. Um, you know, like let's take the upcoming community playdate for an example. Let's take Hearts of Iron 4. And Hearts of Iron 4, as I understand, was, missing some things on launch. Um, but now it's a game with many, many, many systems. Like it started off complicated and has become unbelievably complicated, to the point where I don't even try to like instruct people anymore if they want to play it for the first time. I just sort of point them at like, ooh, that's a nice building. This should go over in the school area. Um, I just sort of point them at the like a tutorial series, right? Because I can't help them. I don't know enough about that game. Um, I don't know enough about that game to walk anybody through much of anything except for like the most basic commands. And even then, I know I'm gonna struggle because I don't know all the hotkeys. I don't know all the tips and tricks. I am so out of the loop. But if they released Hearts of Iron 5 tomorrow, I would be shocked if it had half of the systems that Hearts of Iron 4 does. And I wouldn't really begrudge as long as the game functions. Right? Like, I'm not going to get upset if if they put out Hearts of Iron 5 and it works fine, it just doesn't have espionage and it doesn't have a tank designer or a boat designer or a plane designer. If it doesn't have the market, like basically all the stuff that got added in DLCs. And the thing is, we all get used to that, right? We get used to having all those features in a game. Like if they released Railroute 2 tomorrow, would I expect it to have multiplayer? No. But Railroute has multiplayer, and it's a really a really solid multiplayer. It's really fun to do in the limited experience that I have with it. I want to rope Mark into it. I want to do a stream with Heist, where we do Railroute multiplayer. I think that would be a lot of fun, but like if they release Railroute 2 tomorrow, oh shoot, that's the same building again. I wouldn't expect it to have that. As long as the game is polished, that's fine. But the features that take years and years to develop, Like, you're not going to get those on day one. Pretty much no matter what. And I think they could. I think they could. But here's the one game where every iteration has included all of the features, just about, of the previous versions. You want to take a guess which one I'm thinking of? It's this one. Uh, Trainz has done a very good job of iterating. And that is a strange thing to say when you consider that the iteration that Trainz has done has been very, very slow. Um, like, it is just producing another stable product, or, stable as it is. It's producing another product, I'll say that much. Um, and it's just all carryover. Everything is carryover from the previous games, and they add a couple of new features, and then they sort of tweak those, and then we get another Trainz release. Uh, it's not it's not crazy. It's not a ton of changes, but no release has been missing anything that previous releases have had. Like, they've changed the way that the DLS looks a little bit, and that was a bit of a downgrade, but it still works just the same. I mean, arguably it works better. Um, like, all the buttons pretty much do everything they used to do. Like, the AI gets broken, but that's due to fiddling. Alright, let's do that right there. Yeah, okay. There we go. Why not? Take another drink. What if Hearts of Iron had the design level of Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts and the other military designer type games? Honestly, well, first of all, I'll say that I'm not super impressed by UAD. Um, I I fell off the wagon when I got stuck on the third level, and I know that it's not a tutorial and it's supposed to be really hard, but I could not. I was throwing myself against the wall, and I was not sticking. I was like, all right, whatever. This is like the jankiness of everything combined with the fact that I really like I don't feel like I'm being dealt a fair deal here, or at least I have no idea what's going on. Uh, I'm not impressed with. But conceptually, it's really cool. And conceptually, I think that Hearts of Iron doesn't do a terrible job emulating that system. In fact, they do a pretty darn good job for all that it's worth, without going whole hog and just making Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts inside of Hearts of Iron, which might be a little tricky, because apparently it's very tricky to make UAD in the first place. Now that development on UAD is completely done, I am hoping that the modding community sort of picks up the ball and runs with it, because there are some things that I definitely would love to see: bug fixes, rebalances, better tutorial, and I know some of that is already out there. The thing I really want is the ability to put my ships under AI control, because I really was not enjoying controlling my ships. I was only really enjoying, watching them duke it out and building them. So if I could not do that, right? Like, if I could just hand the controls to the AI, then I would probably be happier with Ultimate Admiral, like, significantly happier. Like, it would have gotten me to keep playing. Um, Doing it completely historically would be great. I think you very quickly run into a problem that historically you could not drag and drop a superstructure from an American uh, hull design onto a Japanese one. Like, in theory, maybe you could, but I don't think you could. Like, maybe you could, but not really. Um, I think I think Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts has done decently with the stuff that you get to play with. It's a little janky and it's a little unbalanced, but I think they've done a decent job at taking the historical ish pieces and fitting them all together in different combinations. They've made that work. That's really hard. I think that's an underrated amount of hard, and that's why there's never been a game where you design a steam locomotive like that. Um, at least with a warship, it's sort of just like assembling giant Legos. With with locomotives, you take stuff and everything informs everything else. All the sizes and the shapes of things they're like intrinsically connected. Um, how was the Surveyor 2 launch like? So I barely used Surveyor 2. It took me a long time to get into it. So I can't speak to how well Surveyor 2 worked at the beginning. I would assume, like many other things, it was kind of a mess. And I wouldn't be surprised about that, and I wouldn't really hold it against the dev team either. Uh, I'm not someone who would. Uh, but like, I wonder because I don't know how much the functionality of Surveyor 2 has changed. I wasn't under the impression that it has changed very much. So I would wonder how much of that backlash is related to how much of that backlash is related to unfamiliarity. You know, I think that's worth considering because you go into any situation, you drop the general public in any situation, and change some stuff on them. Especially folks that have been playing the game for a game for a very long time and are familiar with it. Uh, whoa! Look at this building. That is some blight. Look at that. I gotta use that somewhere. Um, and you present them with a new system, they expect it to just work, right? I think the best way to come into, um, I think the best way to come into something like this, to come into Surveyor 2, would be blind. Would be somebody who's never played Trainz before, never tried to build a route before, and now they're gonna figure out how to use all these tools without any preconceptions that might color them. Um, that might make somebody think, oh, you know what, but it's supposed to work like this. Why doesn't it work like this? Why did they change this? It worked perfectly well before. I've found great utility in Surveyor 2 when it comes to doing things that Surveyor 1 is not very good at. On the other hand, I have found that trying to do everything that I know how to do in Surveyor 1 and Surveyor 2, I either hit a wall of, a wall of misunderstanding or lack thereof completely. Ununderstanding. Just standing. I'm standing at a wall, and I cannot figure out how to make it work in the way that I expect it to work. It's different skill sets, and also it's different workflows. I think that's maybe the best way I can put it. It's different workflows. If you want to get something done in Surveyor 1, and you want to get the same thing done in Surveyor 2, it is very different. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, but it feels bad when you are coming into this for the first time with a lot of Surveyor experience, sort of expecting it to be as intuitive as you remember Surveyor 1 being. And remember is the key word there, because I think plenty of us, myself included, of course, on the record for all to see, we did not automatically know how to use Surveyor 1. We did not automatically know what all the buttons did, and we didn't even know which ones to try when we wanted something to work. Um, it it comes down to the idea that, when you're starting out with a clean slate. You have no preconceived notions about what button should do what, or how these things should work. What the amount of effort should be like to get something done. And we don't remember that. We don't remember stumbling through our first, you know, 200 hours in Surveyor, not having really any clue how to make a route look good. You just figured out how to put tracks down and how to put trains down and maybe how to make an industry work, and then you were carving up the terrain, and your railroad has a 20% grade, but it's fine because you put the engine in DCC mode and it just goes up the hill. It's like we all start out with nothing. And I think going back to that nothing was really, really jarring for people who can't remember a time where they knew nothing. Uh, and I didn't really like it either. I stayed away from it. I was like, oh, Surveyor 2. Like, that's a thing. I have no desire to learn how to use it. And not having a desire to learn something, that's how you miss out on everything in life. Always be curious. Always give it a shot, even if you don't think you'll like it. Because the worst case scenario is you're right, and then you go back to doing the thing you were doing before. Been trying to try out Train Simulator Classic, but the prices are a lot. Should I try to pirate it, or is it not worth it? I'm never gonna. You're asking the wrong person about advocating for piracy. I'm not someone who does that. But like Train Simulator Classic, that's like the old school train simulator, right? Like the Railworks, like OG Railworks, right? Because I am the wrong person to ask about that too. Personally, I'm not interested. I There's never really been anything in Railworks, because I'm a builder and not a driver most of the time. There's never really been anything in Railworks for me. Like, I have it, and did it just start pouring? Holy crap! I'm glad I brought the bins in. I have it, but it is never called to me. If buying isn't owning, pirating isn't stealing, I don't think. I feel like you've never rented a car. Um, that's always my response to that. Uh, I will enjoy the thunder. Hopefully it doesn't knock out power, and I have to end this early. Maybe I should save the game now. I'm gonna save the game now. Yeah. Hopefully nothing terrible happens. But
If this is the last time you hear from us, we love y'all.
what do you think? I'm gonna get personally struck by lightning?
I said we.
You think we're gonna get personally struck by lightning?
Crazy shit's happened.
Okay, but also let me go back for a second, because you said we. Are you gonna get on and do the stream if I'm dead?
I guess.
Okay, all right. So that's. Can I get that in writing?
You just did.
I did. Are
You got it in stream.
That's not writing.
It's voice confirmation.
Okay. You know what they can do with AI these days? No. So you heard it here first. If I die suddenly, Gloria is going to continue the Tolbrin project. And you know what? You know what? That would be perfect. That would be perfect. If we got Gloria to try to build a route, and have them compare Surveyor 1 and Surveyor 2 tools, having no Trainz experience up to this point. That's that's exactly the data point that we're talking about. My God, it's pouring. I love it. We needed this rain. Oh wait, now the grass is gonna be all wet. Said it was gonna mow the lawn. Well, whatever. If the temperature comes down and the grass dries out, then I can mow the lawn tomorrow or over the weekend. I guess I can wait. It's a jungle out there. This next week's stream. Um, like honestly, I knew so my whole neighborhood, and many of you have heard the story of the Italian drains. My whole neighborhood is built right on ledge, like right on bedrock. The houses are like there's so little ground above the bedrock that there's a chunk of bedrock that pokes into my basement that they just sort of covered over with cement. Uh, when we dug into my floor, we got down about 3 inches and we hit rock that we could not move, could not budge, could not destroy with a jackhammer, or with the jackhammer that they had brought along to break concrete. Um, I I am not unique in this situation. My whole neighborhood is like this, and as a result, many people in my neighborhood have problems with basement groundwater. Hence the Italian drains. Hi, what's up? Laptop time?
Yeah.
Okay. Um, I got Gloria this laptop. I'm not at liberty to say where I got it from on stream, but I got it. Yeah, I got it for Gloria. Um, do I know what formation that Bedrock is part of? Honestly, not a clue. I really enjoyed my geotechnical engineering classes and like my geology classes, but I'll be damned if I remember anything from them. And that isn't really applicable over here because we were looking at New York State stuff. Not that it isn't related. At any rate, yeah, I don't know what the geological composition underneath my house is. I just know that it's right there, um, and that it creates problems. Now, the point that I'm getting at is my neighbor has a constantly flowing like natural spring in their basement, and it is constantly being pumped out of that house onto the street through a little pipe. There are actually two, and I know that it's really bad if the second one starts also gushing water. Um, but I know that the ground is really, really dry when there is no water at all. And I think in the 6 years that I've lived here, I've never seen there be no water coming out of that pipe until like a couple months ago. CCL is Creedence Clearwater Limes, if I recall correctly. It's custom car loader for Derail Valley. There should be exactly one extra outlet that I use for laptop stuff. Um, yes, shake it like a Polaroid picture. I love my phone with the you shake it and turn the thing off. There was another, I can't remember what phone I had, but there was another one that I had that would open. I think it would open the camera if I did that.
Oh, your Nokia. I think your Nokia did that.
Hmm. I like gesture commands. I also like voice commands when they work. I was I bought an Xbox One with the Kinect, and I was happy about it. One of like 6 people out there who were. But yeah, I've got a sump, but because of the bedrock location, I have a sump pump, but because of the bedrock location, it's not in a sump. It's just standing on the basement floor. And if the basement floor gets an inch or two of water in it, it'll kick on and try to remove the water from the basement. Now, when it gets really rainy and we go in like full Moses mode, like 40 days and 40 nights of rain, then I break out a second sump pump because the first one will not go fast enough. Um, I own a total of 5 sump pumps. Uh, 3 of them are broken. Actually, no, I own 4. 2 of them are broken. 1 of them is brand new. One of the broken ones is the one that has the water detector attached to it, so I can't get rid of it. But it like triggers the others.
Lafayette.
The limiting factor for a while there until the oldest one broke. The limiting factor was not the number of pumps that I have in the basement. It was the number of hoses that I own. Um, each sump pump plugs into one hose, and I string those hoses through the rafters in the ceiling, and
Oh yeah, it's torrential down there.
then they just sort of go into the sink. Uh, what DLCs do I have for Railworks? It's a really good question. Okay. I actually have no clue. I haven't I haven't touched it in probably over 10 years. It's got to be more than that actually. Let me look at my library. What's up, baby? Where is it? Train Simulator. Uh, Train Simulator Classic 2024. Last played June 20th, 2012. The last time I played this was before the release of The End of Days. Um, what do I have? I don't know where to see what DLCs that I have. Honestly, God, I have no idea how to know what I have. My additional content is manual. Manage my 21 DLC. I've got Donner Pass, Horseshoe Curve, Northeast Corridor, Training Zones, Hitachi Class 801, and then a whole bunch of stuff. Legacy Scenarios, Cajon Pass, uh, ECML, Great Western Main Line. These are all things that came out. These are the things that I got when I bought it in 2012. I bought it June 18th, 2012. I played it July 20th, 2012. I have not opened it since. I was already neck deep in Trainz at that point, and I wasn't giving that up. Let's see, it's 8:30 and we're still working on this triangle. Let me just fill this in here. I think I missed. Yeah, looking onto that road, there's still a little bit of grass. Um, is it worth it to try it? I mean, if you can get a trial, it depends what you want. It depends what you want out of a train game. Honestly, I feel like a while ago I saw a flow chart of train simulators, and I would love to try and recreate that with what I know, which isn't a whole lot. If you want route building, I don't think that's the place to get it. I don't think you will be satisfied. I have heard I've heard some things about route building in Railworks. My my firmest understanding is that it's much more difficult than um, than Trainz, and maybe the product that you can make is a little bit more refined. But I'm not super convinced about that. Um, can I post a screenshot from one of my games in FoamPit? I don't see why not. Unless you're posting something that you shouldn't be posting. Um, so yeah, if you want route building, I don't think that's where I would go. I think Trainz, for all its faults, remains the premier software for route building. I except for maybe Um, what's the one? What's the one? What's the model railroad one? Rolling line. Except for rolling line. Um, if you want to build a railroad, trains or rolling line is maybe your best bet. Either that, or if you want that but you want tycoon things, go wait for Century of Steam, right? Um, if you know, and that's sort of that. There really isn't that much route building out there. Not like this. Not like this. Um, this and rolling line. Those are your best bets if you want to build a route. If you already like Railworks, then yeah, then go for it. But if you're someone who would be buying Railworks to build routes on, unless you have looked like through all the guides and tutorials and things and you've decided that that's what you want, then I can't recommend it. A derail valley or wait for a Century of Steam. See, this is what, like, if you had said, "Oh, I want to drive a train," I would have said, if driving a train is all you're worried about, then go for Derail Valley, unless you get bored on the same map and you want like a real world maps. Then go for Railworks or go for Run 8. But Run 8 is also really expensive. Um, is this the stupid plum? This is this thing. Um, and then yeah, I mean there are some good assets for Railworks. It's much more vetted than Trainz. But there are a lot of good assets for Trainz. You just have to really dig for them more often than you do for Railworks. That said, um, if our good friend Yankee was here, I I love the video that he made. Pretty sure it was him, yeah. Of Heiss critiquing the RGS 20 model in Railworks, and it is spectacular because that model is spectacularly bad. So there are plenty of things that fall short there. Uh, I feel blessed to know the person who made that video. I'm just saying. All right, let's go up. Let's go up here. I want to make these roof lines level. Oh shoot! I just noticed that I'm eating the window. Well, we might just have to live with that. Um, it's not about win or lose. It's how you play the game. Okay, and I'll put maybe a little park over here across from this. Uh, we did do a route building competition. We used to do them with some reasonable amount of frequency, but we have not in a while. We did one for a community play date. Uh, this was a few months ago. It was the most recent route building competition. It's the first time we've done one in quite a long time, and I think it was a single tile route build, which works well for the format because it means that no route is nobody gets bogged down in building a huge route. That was always the problem with the route building competitions. People try to go for like 25 tiles, and unless most of it is forest, it doesn't make a difference. And even then, it doesn't really make a difference. Um, it wasn't the most recent one. It was like last year. Oh, okay. Maybe it wasn't the most recent one. Um, it wasn't the most recent one. We did one since then. I think we might have. I think we might be talking about the same ones, except I'm not understanding lengths of time. I'm struggling with that. I mean, 2012 was like a couple years ago, right? Okay, let's do this. I can't believe that in 66 days, I will be married to you.
Mm-hmm.
And also, in 64 days is our 5th anniversary. Ooh, I just heard the first thunder. Let's go. Alright, I'm going to put another fence back here. And that'll be this triangle done, basically. I need the fence over here by the dairy. And then let's do this. Seeing a lot of lightning down here. I'm jealous. I want to see some lightning. We had some of the craziest lightning I've ever seen a little while back. um, I'm participating in any events for like a year because I lost my account password. Yeah, you should write that down somewhere. You go through accounts like nobody I've ever seen. Okay. Okay. Or maybe that wasn't. Maybe you aren't the person that. Are you the person that's been through multiple accounts in the last couple of years?
I saw some lightning.
Ooh, lightning. No, okay, all right, never mind. There was somebody. There was somebody that I swear, like they would show up with a new account often. Uh, and it was awfully confusing for me because I just don't like. I don't know what to do when that happens. Okay, so that's that. And then what do we want to put here? I guess I can put like uh no, this is hold on. Back into the search filter. No, no, no. There was a Oliver Cromwell. Awesome. Let's just put this guy. Why not? Little two-dimensional statue dude. What about a little garden planter or fountain? Whoa, what the heck are you? Alright, well this is officially one of the weirdest things I've ever seen in Trainz. I'm gonna have to put that somewhere. Like, I'm gonna have to put it somewhere. You know what we can do? We can probably rotate this. Oh, you know what? Hold on. Let me just... There, we got a little monument thing now. Yeah, it's just cardboard cutouts. Okay. Would you look at that? And you know what? I think we have... I don't think we have enough parking lots. I'm not even kidding. I think we're low on the parking lot quota. This is a triangle that we're going to have to work on, but... Okay. But I really don't want to get too far down. I think this has worked really well, though. I'm very happy with the way this is looking. Um, and it'll look better once we get some trees in here too, and also some freight cars and junk like that. But you know, this is great. Okay, let's see. We've got an hour and 45 minutes left in the episode officially. I'm starting to get hungry, which is a problem. Um, Once I'm done with this route, it's already public. Uh, in the Discord, we have a thread, Tolbrin Peninsula. It's under fake model rating, and there is a link to a download for the previous version of this route. And yeah, no, the reason it's available now is because what Steel Beast says is correct. I will never be done. It's not about being done. It's about the progress, about the journey. Um, right. So what we were doing. Oh, and look at this guy. He's trying to load boxcars. Oh, and he couldn't figure it out, and I still don't know why. Um, so if we look at, I'm gonna have to move this out of the way again. You get out of the way. If we look at this, which also let's delete this track mark. Oh, what are you? Oh, it's a living railroad track mark. Fascinating. Anyway, let's grab this. I want to make sure that this industry is working properly. This 80 waybill 50%. Now it is doing what it's supposed to be doing. Now the problem is this is load into vehicle and it just isn't doing it. And I'm wondering if it has something to do with the vehicles as much as it has something to do with the lumber right there. But it has something to do with the vehicles as much as it has something to do with anything else. Skin not really weathered. General info. I'm wondering if I like delete these cars and replace them with identical ones, if it would matter. Because it keeps trying to load these cars, and I wonder if it's a car problem or if it's an industry problem. Now, this was the industry where we were messing with dummy commodities. We were messing with dummy commodities, and hold on, let me line this back up. And I am still uncertain if they're going to work in the way that we expect them to work, or if I needed to go download the alphabet instead. The other thing is, yeah, like I don't think Living Railroad will work with an industry that doesn't have an active process. And Living Railroad still manages to get confused when that happens. Now, part of me just wants to mess around with this, but I think I'll give it a little bit of time, and what I will do instead is I will work on one of our car spawners. The incredibly exciting thing that I do all the time. Okay, so what is next on the list of car spawners? Let's see how quickly we can do this. I say that every time. Commodity balance. After beer pallet is coal. Oh, this is going to be an easy one because they're already set up for coal. It's already called coal. Which means this one is never going to work. Alright, let's... Do we move on to the next one? Is this set up? No, I don't think it's set up. Maybe I do move on to the next, because the coal one is straight up never going to work until we're done with all the other ones, because they're all duplicates of it. The next one is narrow gauge coal. We can't do that. We're going to have to make a narrow gauge staging somewhere else. So this one is going to be, I think, corn, right? Corn might be next. Yeah, it's just corn. A big lump with knobs. It has the juice. Okay. Corn portal. Add new consist. We're going to add Chevy pickup. And then 4 of whatever the corn cars are. Which I will switch to screen mode so you can see what the hell I'm doing. Corn is the covered hoppers, which means that we have two options. ACF covered hopper Boston and Maine. Then we're going to need 4 of these. Also, this is going to be backwards because of the way that it works, I guess. Um, a new driver. Uh-oh. Blocked by network security. Well, that's double weird. Let's see. Blocked by mistake. Blocked by network security. That's interesting because that looks like a Reddit thing and not a thing thing. You get on other websites? I'll have to look into that one. That's a weird problem. Okay. So we've added you, and I'm going to rename you Corn. You can get on other websites?
Yeah.
Okay. What? Okay. So you, and then I need to add another one. I need to do the same thing. I need to add Chevy pickup, and then I need to add 2 Bay ACF Gilson Eastern. What the heck is that?
I don't know. I tried to open a link and it wouldn't let me do it.
That whatever that is, that seems sus. A link to what?
To this background
Oh.
that I wanted to download.
Now be careful with that. Alright, add new oh, no, sorry. Delete that consist. Add new driver to consist. I wish, can I duplicate a consist once I have, no, I cannot. Okay. Something I could do is I could, oh, whoops, I actually probably need to rename all of these, I'm realizing, because there are going to be identical copies at the other end. Yeah. So, NSTL ammonia. Hopefully that will just work. Oh, got a little bit more thunder. And then this is going to be Barley Square. Okay, that's just the, oh, never mind. This one up here. Oops. I love how if I click off of it and then click back onto it, it resets all my progress. This is an iterative process. NSTL beer pallet. Okay, there's only one type of vehicle that works that, so that's fine. And this is coal, and this one is corn. STL corn. Okay. That's the one we're on now. Whoops, wrong one. The hitboxes are a little weird. Nope, that's still coal. That's corn. Okay. Hello, Douglas Welsh. Alright. We're going to need to rename all these things. Corn instead of coal. I assume there's only one kind of corn. I hope there's only one kind of corn. STL. Oh, and this needs to be updated too. Uh, corn portal signal. Save that. And then that doesn't have a name. Corn entrance. Did I see the fireless locomotive you drew? I think I did. You drew one with a tender, right? After the last episode. Also, the kerning here is bad. Sometimes stuff gets lost in the shuffle. No, then maybe I did not see it. I just remember a conversation on it. This game is so corny. Boo. Limes. Alright, corn. I never thought I'd be writing corn so much. Corn portal, yeah. I'm pretty sure that's where we went over the weekend. Gloria and I went to this. We were in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, and we went to this uh, street fair, and one of like the most important things there was the enormous booth that sold ears of corn. Um, what is this, Midwest Mania? Yeah. Am I missing anything? Did I label everything corn appropriately? I think I got all those. Did I get that? Nope, I didn't get this. I love that we're just gonna have to do this again and again and again. Yeah, it's Baycorn. That's exactly what it was. I think it was with a little bit more zhuzh than Baycorn, but I assume Baycorn is corn with Old Bay on it. Because that's what it was, and I'll tell you what, putting Old Bay on stuff, 2 thumbs up. Uh, oh, goodness. Alright. Load signal, empty signal. And then you down here. Although I do think I missed something. Oh, right, these, right? Did I do these? No. And then the third one. Old Bay on corn is like tahini on rice. There's a place in Providence that does Old Bay fries, and every time I'm like within, you know, within 10 city blocks of that place, I'm like, I gotta go over there. I just, it sucks me in like a wormhole. Um, all right, so this is actually going to be the same as the other one, which is 60,000. So 60,000 times 8, right? So I have a calculator for this. I'm going to put a box around here so I know that's the one I can edit. So 4, and then, yeah, 480,000 should be this Q. Should be the same as the other. Oh, I can't change it until I have corn. Corn! Thank goodness there is only one corn. Well, the one true corn. Let's put the waybill at... Oh, wait, no, sorry. Because of the way these are, it's doing it like that. You want to show me something? Is it good? Okay. Hold on. It's going to create corn. It's going to create 60,000 of it. And it's going to happen 4 times an hour. Oh, shoot. Shoot. I forgot. Switch products. Switch it to items. And then Oh, no, that's not what I wanted to do. Okay. If we are doing 4 productions... Oh, sorry. 4 productions per hour, 900 seconds per production. Okay, so 900 seconds, 60,000. Start enabled as true. Set all that back to... Oh, gosh darn it. Hold on. Tell me I didn't just break it. Because I should not have messed with that. Okay, no, it's good. It's good, it's good, it's good. I think. What do you want to show me? Yay, and you didn't get a virus downloading it. That's a nice background. Okay, did you not want me to compliment the background? I mean, you know, you wanted to show it to me. I'm gonna say, what do you expect me to say?
I was just saying I was prepared to say I did.
Everyone give Gloria a round of applause for downloading a desktop background.
Oh my god, don't do
All right, navigate to track mark list. Corn, first available. And wait for 5 seconds. Where's wait? Wait for 5 seconds. And then wait for 5 seconds. Navigate to track mark list. The corn list, first available. Did I still leave halt train in here? Because I should just be using that instead of wait 5 seconds, honestly. The problem is these things have not been working. Well, specifically what has not been working is the... So if I go to edit session, let me restart all the rules. Schedule at track mark. This has not been working, and I'm really not sure why. Because I have the track mark selected. It says in both directions all along the session. Yeah, no, all along the session. Did I break this by putting a comma in one of these track marks? I wonder. I wonder if I broke the rule entirely by putting a comma in one of the track marks or something like that. Like it's a formatting thing that it cannot handle. It's not sanitizing its inputs, so it's broken. I mean, when did it stop working? No, because it worked once and I didn't change it. Alright, add new trackside entity. And then this is going to be select track mark, corn 3, and then it's just going to, excuse me, delete train. In both directions all along the session. Trackside entity, select track mark. Actually, I have an idea. Why am I doing it like this when I could be doing it like this? Never mind, because it adds it to the bottom anyway. Forget what I was thinking. Corn 2. What comes after? If corn 1 is so good, how come they never made corn 2? Where's the bromine plant? Yeah, we'll get to it. Wait 5 seconds. Uncouples from 0. Go to terminate. Wait, delete. Wait for 5 seconds. Where's the uncouple command? To couple number 1. Navigate to track mark. Corn terminate. Yep. Wait for 5 seconds. It's like the back of my hand now. Hey, that's new. Delete train. Okay. New trackside entity, and it's going to be down at the bottom. This is the most difficult one. Corn 1. There you are. And then I know what all needs to be done eventually. So you're going to drive to... have we been using drive to or navigate to? I want to be consistent. NSTL beer pallet. Navigate to. Okay. Okay. Navigate to. Corn. Oh. STL corn. Not too many times we have something called corn. Multiple pickup drop off. Maybe it can't navigate to the right track? Maybe that's the problem? But that doesn't make any sense. Um, corn, load. Yep. And then what? Do we wait for 5 seconds? No, we go to point 1, wait for 5 seconds, then uncouple and take care of the engine. What the? Navigate to track mark. Corn 1. Wait for 5 seconds because we're just waiting for the train to come to a stop. And then couple number 1. Navigate to track mark. Corn terminate. I like how it's right at the bottom there. And then delete train. Right? I don't think I put a... Did I put a wait in before I had to delete the train? There's no reason for that wait to exist. I'm going to get rid of that extra wait in there. I'm just going to save myself the, 5 seconds every time. There doesn't need to be a wait at the beginning of this, and there doesn't need to be a wait before the deleting of the train. Doesn't need to be a wait before the deleting of the train. Yep. Nope. And if it stops working, then we will go back and add them because that's fine. But it'll save me effort in the long run. Okay, so it is 9:06. I think that's everything that we need to do for this one. The other thing that I would like to do... See, if it was before 9 o'clock, I would say, oh, let's go on and let's wait for it to happen. The other thing I'd like to do is select all of these, because these guys are really just... They're troublemakers now. I don't know what happened with these invisible signals, but I need to replace them with something in the rest of the route, and I need to replace them with something here, because they're not working anywhere. Lazy bums? No, but since we upgraded, the signals were just not... They're not, the invisible signals in particular, they're not doing it. They're acting very strange. They're mostly only showing red. And I don't have any clue why. And I'm not sure they do either. The other thing is, the ones on the turntable that are there for you to get off the turntable. Those, I think, are just broken by nature of what they are and where they are. Replace with selected asset. There we go. Now they're all gone. Okay. So, first of all, I'm going to do one other thing while we're here. There are some other things that I would like to do. There are definitely speed signs that I'm missing, signals that I maybe should put in. But one of the things I need to do is get rid of this stop signal over here, or stop sign, right there, because if I want to use this, trains on AI mode are going to come up to that and stop and wait for it to be green, which is never, ever, ever going to happen. So, yeah, I mean, we're going to kind of just have to deal with that. I think we need a signal over there like searchlight signal 04, but really like searchlight signal 06 left diverging. There it is. Down here. What if we could add a flagger? Rotate trackside. And then does this have a signal down here? I feel like it should. No, it does not. And those are... So this is searchlight signal 05. I don't know what the difference between 05 and 04 is. Rotate trackside. It's like there's no perfect set of signals. Okay. So we got those in there. And last time we were here, we were trying to shunt this out, but one of the things was... What the heck? Sean. Hey, babe. Look. It's Sean. One of the things was we needed to update this, because this is not working right either. One of the things is... Or the first things first is I need to get these cars out of here, so... We need to go back to Surveyor Classic. And then we need to grab these cars and put them somewhere else. I will just stash them... What is this track mark? What is this? Oh, baggage siding. Well, whatever. I'm stashing them over there. And I'm going to pull out these cars, which these show that they're full, but they're clearly, well, something's going on with these cars. I'm just going to set these over here on the siding track for now. I don't really know what to do with them. In fact, I may be better off just replacing them, but can I just remove the coal from them for now? Maybe? Or if I put the coal back in them. Okay. There we go. Now they're appropriately showing as full. So the problem with this industry is that it's actually using the regular industry thing, which means it's kind of uncontrollable. Right now it makes, let's see. Right now it's a producer industry. It is up, it's in all of sort of catchment area. It's up at Lionhead Colliery. It makes 4.03 carloads of coal, which is not an even round number. It's not an integer, so that's a problem. This place takes beams, just like good old Railroads Online. Okay, so what we need to do is we need a multiple industry. I don't know why I never have the brain power for this anymore. I have surely become dumber in my adult life. And it's not even like I know more, so I know that I'm dumb now, and I was smart before. Or like I thought I was smart before. It's like I clearly had a better grasp on how to do stuff and like remembering things. And I do not have that now. Part of it has got to be like the brain rot, you know, like the genuine, like the addiction to internet and short form content has reduced my ability to like comprehend things in the way that I should. And I always try to challenge myself to break that up and like, you know, go to a place and, you know, like sit down and actually read through things or allow a video to naturally reach its end instead of skipping through it. Because I need to keep my patience trained. Part of that is doing this. Like, I don't think I would be doing this if it weren't for you folks that come along and be a part of, you know, that are a part of this with me. the other thing I need to do, I need an invisible track. Visible track, BNSF 50, the good one. And now the colliery track is invisible. I'm also going to need an industry link. Oh, which is in here, not in there. And we're going to need to set this up the same way we did the other one. So, 4 carloads of coal. Oh, first of all, let's select this and make sure I turn all of this off. Process is disabled. I'm just going to call it Lionhead Colliery. And this would be the coal pickup. And so you're going to have some coal. You're also going to have some dummy product, which the size of the queue is going to be 1 for that, and the waybill is going to be 0, I guess. The waybill is going to be 50 for that. For both of these products, I need to set this to items. Just click right around through it. And the process is it's going to take, it's going to take dummy product and make coal. And it's probably going to do it one thing at a time. So 4 carloads of coal is equal to, if I jump back in the industry calculator, so a carload of coal is 69,294. So 69,294. It's going to look a lot like what we were just looking at. 277,176 is going to be the amount that is in here, but the amount that is the maximum capacity is going to be 554,352. So that first number was 277,176. All right. Multiple pickup drop-off. It's going to load coal into the vehicle, and then it's going to produce 1 carload, 69,294, every, let's see, 21,600, right? And it's going to consume 1 and produce 1 carload. Okay, so that's that. And then you, oh, you're the kind that gets broken, huh? Watch this. I'm gonna have to replace this because, oh no, okay, it works. All right, dummy product. I wanted to consume 1 items and produce 1 dummy product. Oh, hold on, I gotta switch that to units. Baby, where's our son?
Last time I heard, he was in the living room.
Is that so? Poor Lafayette is sad and he probably cannot get into the room. Unload from vehicle, yep. Processes 21,600. I want you to consume 1 lumber and produce 1 dummy product. And then lumber, none, yeah, none. Okay. Okay. I don't want to do that. Could I set it to any? Because none is not helpful. The fact that this has options is concerning me. No dummy product available for pickup. I'm really going to need to find something to sub dummy product out for, aren't I? Because that's not going to work. If it thinks they can put it in a boxcar, hi East. If it thinks it can go in a boxcar, That's not good. Okay, hold on. Call pickup, and then you're going to move dummy product between the two. Now, if I could find, if I could find a product that does not show up for any car when I do that, then maybe that should be our dummy product. If I let's go get multiple industry new. What is this one? Short track. Oh, that's, I don't know why that's downloaded or modified or whatever. Let me just go over here for a second. Let's try to find the strangest commodity we have. So, it's got to be something that is weird enough that it isn't in any, you know, it isn't in any existing set of things. At least not that we can use. 40-foot containers we're probably not going to use. DODX container flats. No, that feels like something that might come up. Empty Florida orange bin. These are all too normal. I need something really weird. I need something that would only go in intermodal load for my well car. Okay, that seems specific enough. What? What do you mean it can go in everything? Well, that's not the ticket. I guess unless it has something. TUFC trailers pack 1. Oh wait, no, that's not helpful. Metal pipe sound. Pig load. Pies boxed on pallet. Oh man. Oh, the cat just kicked the door down.
Figured out how to get in.
Hi, Venkman. What is this? Rotami from Trainz Italia. I bet this is going to go in stuff. Yeah, everything. Okay, why can these go in everything and other things can't go in anything? Or much? Aircraft fuselage. Please tell me that this can't get loaded in whatever it wants. Okay, why on earth? Wait. Wait. How is this allowing everything under the sun? But if I go over here and I look at dummy product. Oh, wait. Yeah, wait. We'll compare the two. Nope, that's the colliery. Dummy product. I'm going to click on this. Dummy product can only go in these things. Select product vehicle. These things. Okay? Why, first of all? Second of all, how is it that hold on. What if I put dummy product in this? Dummy product. Okay. Okay, that's strange. That's really weird. That I don't understand. So this isn't like a select a type of vehicle. It's looking at all the vehicles on the route and asking me what I want to put it in? I don't understand the difference between there and here. Because that one's not connected to anything. Something else I'm going to need to do is, um, where is, bless you, where's Living Railroad? Dispatch manager. Um, yeah, and I'm going to clear the catch track paths because I added some things. Um, yeah, I'm going to fit a 737 fuselage into a 2-bay hopper. Um, it might stick out a little bit, but don't worry, it'll be fine. This thing flat out? This thing is plain out? How did this thing run out? Um, okay, so that. This is what it is. Did I bring up lumber to put in here? Yes. Well, okay, let's load these two industries. Why not? We've got about 30 minutes left. Let's see what's broken. Um, as long as this thing is caught up with the... Yes, okay. Let's see. Let's make sure that the session layers are reset. Yes, they are. And then I'm going to drive session. Hopefully it doesn't... Nope, it did. What am I looking at? Why did it take me over here? Just get ratchet straps. Anyway, we need to be up there. What are you doing? Oh, that's right. You're loading log cars. You are coming back with some train. And you, for some ungodly reason, cannot figure out how to get lumber into these boxcars. And I don't know if it's something wrong with the cars or the industry or you. You're idle because you can't get out of the building. I don't know what you're doing. So you can unpause this. Wait for everything to load up. And then I think what we'll do is we will... First we'll unload this tank car here. That appears to be what I was going to do next. Hello, Orion. And I have the commodities over these cars at all times now. It's very cluttered and obnoxious looking, but it helps me keep my head on straight because clicking on the UI for all the cars is really problematic. This person just keeps trying to move lumber. These RS3s, they really keep trying. And I have not the foggiest clue what the problem is, why they can't load lumber into those cars. I mean, we can try to... We don't have any coal cars. We can try to load coal out of here at some point. This should just go right out, but I can leave these cars here for a second. Oh, there we go. All right. Wait, what? That's not how much was in this. Oh, I never looked at that town. Hold on. $29,100. Was it just sort of waiting? Did it consume 9,700 liters? Yeah, it did, didn't it? Yes, it did. It consumed it immediately when I put it in. Okay. Well, that's something. I didn't know that was a thing. but it actually makes a lot of sense. What was that? What? What is that? Why are there little uncoupling things at the bottom of the world? And more importantly, why have I never noticed them before? Hello, Mew. What is going on down there? Gregory, how did you get up there? We're going to throw that. Yeah, I really don't know what's going on with that. Hopefully that's just a graphical bug and there aren't, you know, we don't have ants. That's the model railroad of the ants down there. All right, go ahead, pull forward. We're going to drop off some lumber here. And I'm going to watch that fill back up, which is going to be nice. And then the idea was we were going to bring down some coal. This guy is still going back and forth doing the same damn thing. Or, wait, no. He's going to Cooper Lumber. Cooper Lumber is in Mason Valley. Oh, God. He doesn't even have any lumber. That's... He couldn't even pick up any lumber. I don't understand. I don't understand what that commodity selector doodad is. I wonder if it has anything to do with this, with the type of multiple industry that I'm using. Very strange. Alright, so we'll back up, we'll grab these cars. Or maybe we'll just leave them there. We got plenty of tank cars. I came up here sort of to get these flats, but also to get the coal. And so we'll have picked up those, and then we'll head back down. I also have plenty of boxcars. I can leave the boxcars up here. This is also one of those where I definitely need a speed limit sign heading into the industry. Whether it's a visible one or invisible one. The nice thing about the invisible speed limit signs, unlike the invisible signals, they actually work. I use those quite a bit. The thing with a real railroad is a lot of the time your speed limits aren't necessarily all written out on the side of the track. We're not picking up people here. Come on. Yeah, put them on the flat cars. That'll do it. That turntable's broken, isn't it? Yeah, it's not connected. Yeah, loading the caboose up. I do like Lionhead a lot. It's a nice little pain in the neck switching puzzle. Okay. That guy just clipped straight through me. I guess I did not set up ATLS for all these. Alright, back it up. How's everything going for everybody else? You're idle, you already filled up. You're still working on it. You're working on that. You are trying to pick up lumber. Did you pick up lumber? Is it an industry problem or is it just those cars? That's the real question. I'm glad you tried to pick up with something else. I'm guessing there's nothing in that boxcar. Number one, stop trying to pick up lumber with these boxcars. Because clearly, they are struggling with picking up lumber. Maybe I should replace that multiple industry. Maybe it's something with the industry. I don't know. I really don't see why it would. I don't know why it's acting like that. I've got no clue. I want to know if it's specifically that industry or if it starts happening with other industries, but that's the only place that's really putting stuff out that living rarities seem to grapple onto. It just keeps wanting to move lumber. Hey, Pat. So we will push into these, and then we'll run around. We'll grab this stuff, and then we'll head back. Uh-oh. Mick is waiting for track clearance. What the heck? Double what the heck? One, I thought you couldn't do that. I thought you couldn't run steam engines. First of all. Second of all, what are you trying to do? How come I can't select the signal? View details. Stop red. Signal reason. The signal reason is because it was a part. Oh, it was a part of a. Alright, hold on. I forgot about these guys. I need to go back to Sphere Classic for a second. I did not know they would grab a steam engine. I thought they couldn't do that. But also, what are you doing? Seriously, what are you doing? Get object. You. This is GEMV Gerald Road southbound. So let's put that down. And then put you over here. Be Gerald Road northbound. You. GEMV Gerald Road southbound. So this is the first time I've seen them actually grab a steam engine. Like I said, I didn't think such a thing was possible. I'm going to edit session. I'm going to restart all the rules once again. And then we're going to go back to drive session. And I'm going to take a look at you. Oh, wait. I wanted to fix that. I just saw it. Oh, right here, yeah. There's a piece missing. There's a little bit of missing landscaping ground. This is the other thing that is really nice about the combined driver surveyor shtick. It's when I notice something like this, I can just hop out and fix it. Yeah, and now that's better. A little bit better, anyway. Session. Restart the rules. And back into drive session. Alright, so you're going to go... What are you doing? You are... Navigate to Fall River Bleachery sulfuric acid drop-off. Unload at sulfuric acid drop-off. You're delivering coal to the sulfuric acid drop-off? Oh, no. Oh, no. Stop. 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 Okay, all right, hold on. Hold on. This was me. This was me cutting corners. And now it's come back to bite me in a way that I could have never anticipated, which is that Living Railroad is trying to bring a commodity to a place that accepts stuff. Oh my god. All right. All right. All right. All right. All right. All right. Hold on. The bleachery over here, right? This is the bleachery. Sulfuric acid drop off is over here. Now, why is this asking for coal? Hold on. Let's No, this was not that. This was not what I just said. I thought that was something else. Um Let me guess. It was using coal as an intermediate product. Let me guess. Because, oh, we would never drop off coal there. There'd be no reason to do that, so I'll use it as a product to transfer stuff. This place is complicated, alright? This place is... Oh, no, that's what it was. That's what it was. Because coal is powering the factory. It's supposed to be coming in here on the narrow gauge, which I'm realizing is now a problem because we won't actually have a way to supply that right yet. We won't for a while. Oh, you know what? It actually does. It works for both. Um, but we're gonna have to do this via dummy commodities or some such thing because, yeah, this is a complicated one and it's gonna get more troublesome the longer I leave it. Um, so, all right, all right, all right, all right, all right, all right. Can I fix this in 20 minutes? Well, I'm realizing I still didn't update my industries and balance sheet with the thing that I fixed, you know, an hour ago. So that's less than ideal. Producer industries. This is going to... This is going to produce... What's 4 times that magic number? 277, 176. So 277, 176. That should be 4 cars even. And now if we look at our industry calculator, which I'm sorry that you guys can't see that right now, if we look at coal, we can see that it produces an even 4 instead of 4.03. So this has got to be the same thing. Now, the idea was this would produce like 16 carloads. Oh my god, it already filled them up. I need to get these cars out of here. 16 carloads per per day or something like that. Let me see. Industries in balance. Producer industries. Fall River Bleachery. It produces 8 carloads of general goods, which I assume is what I just tucked over there. So this is the operative. Two things. One, that's probably why it can't handle steam engines because it doesn't because it empties their tenders. It treats them as an object or as a freight car and not as a tender, right? Because that's what it was on the way to do. Okay. So this is I've got to nuke this whole thing and start again. It's going to be longer than 20 minutes. I know that much. But the thing is, it's got to consume X number of carloads of coal. All right, this is where it gets problematic. All right, because um, because let me fix this, and then I'll switch view over. We need to be able to. I don't think I can individually set tenders to do not unload. Um, I mean, I'll take a look, but I don't think that setting exists. At least not yet. I think I'm gonna have to take the Steam engines and just mark them all as undrivable by the thing. Um, supports coal and water. Engine default. Uh, dispatch status. Cancel task. Um, can I? No. Something I can probably do is show JR Mick, player assignment, player controlled. And so now I can just stick back. Whoa, stick you back in the engine house. Hopefully, the fact that you're flying along doesn't cause you to slam into that caboose. You know what? Let's put you on the other track. Yeah. That's better chance of not binning it. Um, okay, but this place, back to the bleachery. Back to the bleachery. Coal is the problem. We have coal coming in from standard gauge and narrow gauge. And a standard gauge load of coal, I'm going to copy this over. A standard gauge load of coal is 69 to 94. Now, a narrow gauge load of coal is 27, 27, 0. 27270. 27270. Now, we need a number. Oh, shoot. We need a number that that works with the two of these, and that's a problem because that means we're looking for a round number. Like, I want it to be an even number of carloads, but it's not going to happen because one carload is a weird size compared to the other. I mean, the lowest common multiple is probably up there in the millions, which does not engender a lot of confidence in my ability to make this happen. I mean, this 136 is close to 138. This 272 is pretty close to 277. It's just a question of where are we getting our coal, which I honestly might have to consult the map for that. I mean, this place we're probably getting coal off the narrow gauge, so maybe I should tailor it to a narrow gauge amount of carloads. The other thing is, yeah, because coal is coming down the narrow gauge, we can tell by the fact that there's a coal transfer here. So maybe I should tailor it to that. Which is to say, how many carloads of coal is this thing going to eat in a day? And really, what number makes my life easy when I pick that? So we should do it in carloads of coal off the narrow gauge. But we can allow it to take carloads of coal off the standard gauge too. It's just not what it's going to be balanced for. So this is our thing. Now ultimately, we're going to need multiple dummy commodities. We're going to need multiple dummy commodities, which means that instead of we're going to need to start here next time. I'm going to leave it intentionally disturbed, and we'll have to start here next time. But before I sign off, we're going to go and find something that we're going to use going forward. Download station. Um, we're going to switch to category, commodity. And this is something that I had tossed around earlier. There's a lot of different commodities out there. But I went looking for something that would never be used and hopefully never get picked up in anything. There they are. Download these. Mesh library, wooden alphabet. What's our one warning? Oh, okay, that is already installed. That's the warning. Okay, well, that's where we are. It's 9:50. I don't feel like I can make more progress, but what I can do is just double check, because we're going to need a lot of different intermediate commodities to pass around this place. And one of them is going to have to be, not letter, what is it? What did it say? What are they called? Character. Yeah. The fact that it's limited to 256 units is kind of annoying, but we will figure it out. We will go from there, and that's our big issue for next time, is getting this place in ship shape. Thank you. Glad you like the desktop background. I'll see you all next week. This is the Admiral, signing off.